Today, we talk about the wildest Nintendo rumors we heard on the playground as kids. Does your uncle work at Nintendo? Find out on this episode of Podcasting with Power.
Welcome to Podcasting with Power, your weekly source for Nintendo and video game news, reviews, and deep dive discussions. I'm Jordan Carlson, and beside me is Zachary Davis.
Oh. Did that throw you off because it's out of order on the talk?
If you enjoy what we do, help us grow by tapping the subscribe button, leaving a comment, and following us on social media at Pod with Power. All the links you need will be in the description of the episode below. Zach, what are you playing?
Wow. Well, so typically for this one, we don't do the what are you playing because we did that in the news one. But you did a great job. You actually, I realized in the last episode here, I forgot all the links you need line. So you nailed that.
Nice.
I like it. How did you like doing the intro?
It was fun.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
I guess I do have a little not so much what you playing, but what am I going to play?
What are you going to play?
I work really close to, I like to go to the local library to pick up games that I don't necessarily want to buy, but I might want to try them or I think they're short or whatever. And I work very close to a different library than my own local one. It's actually your local library.
My local library?
Yeah, and I learned today that my card works there. I can use it. So,
what?
Yeah, so I went and picked up Chroma Gun 2, which is one Die Hard, which we talked about back when we did our every Switch 2 game in 2026 that we know about or whatever we called that. And it is that one that's kind of reminiscent of Portal. It's that first-person puzzler, but kind of does the paint thing like Splatoon. And I saw that they had it in their library. So I went and picked it up. I haven't played it yet. But I know you have one that you might be playing this week that you showed me kind of in between episodes here. What is that going to be?
Yeah, I got Mouse PI for Hire downloaded on the Switch here. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, going to play that. But this weekend, I'm hoping for a mixture of some Resident Evil,
okay,
some Mouse PI for Hire,
okay,
and then maybe some Pragmata. Yeah,
Pragmata. That's the one. I know if I get it, I'm gonna want to power through it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got that kind of time right now.
No, dude. If I'm learning anything about myself, especially as the weather kind of takes a turn for the better here.
Yeah,
I'm always playing games through the summer. It's just, but I definitely slow down, especially with the whole house stuff that Amanda and I are doing right now. Yeah. So less gaming time, but still really enjoying the handheld stuff and what I can get. So
sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious. You asked to do the intro today. Do you want to just host the whole show?
No.
Okay. Well, that's too bad because this topic was actually your idea. For our deep dive this week. We are going to talk, and it doesn't necessarily, it's not a literal translation of this topic, but we wanted to talk about those Nintendo Playground rumors. If you are of a certain age, you probably remember, as we do in the late 90s, early 2000s, being on the playground and just hearing some wild things about your favorite video games or games maybe you hadn't had a chance to play at that point in time. And I think that has stuck with us as we've gotten older because we lived through that and then the early kind of internet and seeing crazy stuff on there. Oh, yeah. And I don't know. In my opinion, rumors aren't like they used to be.
No.
We talked about some probably pretty credible rumors a couple weeks ago. And that's very different than the kind of stuff we're going to talk about here. Mostly, it's like weird stuff you could do in a game that you didn't know you could do in a game. That's kind of what it all boiled down to.
It did. And it was a more... we have a habit of doing that. I have a habit of doing this. I won't lump you into my basket here, but I have a habit of looking more fondly back in time, back in the olden days, in our old days.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a magical time because we didn't have the wonderment of the internet. We didn't have that at our fingertips the way that we do today. We had magazines, which I love, physical media. Definitely. And it wasn't just as you couldn't validate something at the drop of a hat like you can today. So like
No.
we could hear something today, quickly give it a Google and like kind of get to the bottom of whether or not that's a credible thing.
Yeah.
Back then we would hear something and be like, for weeks, I'd be like, is it? You know, and I'd have to find somebody who I knew who had Game Informer or
absolutely
something, you know, or if I was hopping on the old dial up, you know, I could maybe do a little bit of digging, but it was different back then and it was fun. It was mysterious.
I know there is something that you look back fondly on in that era, and I kind of enjoy that. I think we've each brought a couple of these rumors that we recall, maybe even spreading ourselves. I don't know how much of that you participated in, but I'm a little curious to see, one, which ones we have that overlap, but I'm also curious if there are going to be some slight variations in that overlap.
That is possible.
Because like I have one that I know I knew one way, but I think other people might know a different way. And I'm just curious to see kind of where we land on that.
Yes,
so,
no, definitely. And to give the, you know, the example, we can give the legendary example, I think, of what I gave to you. And
that's actually great. Yeah. Why don't we explain what we're talking about here? Give us
so
the one.
Like you had said, just those rumors that go around, rumors we may have heard about games coming out or games that were already out, whatever. Sometimes Easter eggs, sometimes, you know, almost expansions of games or just things you could get, whatever it is. And the example I used was the old Mew under the truck, you know, the classic, you know, the staple of rumors. And I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon ones, but that was undoubtedly one of the larger ones, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I'm thinking about that because one of the things I've been doing since the 30th anniversary Pokemon stuff is revisiting some of those original anime episodes. And so, right. I just watched the Squirtle Squad one most recently.
Yes.
But, you know, you start that and you have that great intro with that legendary song in it. But the first two Pokemon you see are Mewtwo and Mew. Now, Mewtwo is in Pokemon Red and Blue. Mew, there is no natural way to catch Mew in there.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that. I think, especially as Americans, I think we see that show before we really got into the games, or at least deep into the games. And we just kind of assume it must be in there, right?
Yeah.
And I think we kind of tricked ourselves into believing that there has to be some way. And that was always the one that, you know, everyone had a different trick to do it. And there's actually a way you can trick the game into letting you catch a Mew that I did in high school. I remember finally learning how to do that. But the big one that, would always spread around is that when you go to board the SSN, and this is why the rumor works, because once you're done with the SSN, it's gone and you can't access that area anymore. So you can't, if you're past a certain point in the game, you can't verify this.
Right.
You just have to take your word and you're like, oh, I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently there's a truck and if you use strength on the truck, the Mew will be underneath.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad to report that's not true.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you try it?
I did. Of course.
Yeah.
Same. I was in first grade, second grade. No,
yeah, we were pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, is the Mew under the truck, is that all 3 Gen 1 games, or is it just Pokemon Yellow?
I think it's Red and Blue.
Oh, yeah, this is Red and Blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. And that's one that I think a lot of people have heard. So that gives you kind of some context of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think with that, I'd like to kick off with the very first one, which I didn't count on that number that I gave to you of how many I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is the one that I was mentioning because you had asked before we started, how many do I have? And I said I had one, but one's partly true.
Okay. What is that?
This is that one. And I figured since the example I gave to you was Pokemon, I wanted to bring up missing number.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so go ahead. Let's explain what that is. Because again, we're old.
So basically you had to glitch your game, which I think it was just walking around in one area a bunch of times and then doing something with the PC. I can't remember exactly.
You want me to tell you how to do it?
Yeah.
So you talk to the old man who teaches you how to catch Pokemon. You talk to him, you fly to Cinnabar Island, and then you surf along that coast on the right side of the screen, and you will encounter Missy No is, I think, the most common glitch, but there's actually a couple variations. Yeah, and I did it a lot.
And it worked. Like you'd get the glitch, and I remember doing that. And see, the thing is that this was the carrot on the stick for me from you. Like that's why I heard this, and I went into it, and I was like, I don't think this is real. And then I did, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
like
what the hell is this thing? I mean, anything's real.
And then I'm convinced that the Mew under the truck, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. There's something to do. I don't know what it is. So like it like kept me engaged. Like I feel like this was one of the first ones that when it happened for me, I started to kind of believe everything a little bit more, So I got more interested in what other possibilities may be out there.
Yeah, so that's funny because I don't feel like as a kid I associated it so much with the Mew stuff because Missy No was in front of me and I was able to catch it and use it. And I remember the reason I was so invested in that glitch is because of the duplication you could do. Yeah, I think it was like the 6th item slot. You could give yourself a bunch of rare candies or a bunch of master balls or whatever it was, right? So,
oh man, after level 100 everything's.
Yeah, after playing the game so many times, it was like, fuck it, all my Pokemon are gonna be level 100. I'm gonna just catch everything with a master ball. Like, why not? So I like that one. I actually have a Pokemon related one that also ended up kind of being true, kind of ended up being a thing. Okay. Does the name Pika Blue ring a bell?
God, yeah, it does.
It does, right?
Yeah.
So there was this window, right, where Pokemon hit here in the US and we were all into it. And I think we were all kind of eager for more, right? Because we knew there were Pokemon out there like Mew, like eventually Ho-Oh, which we saw in the first episode of the anime. Yeah. Like there's stuff out there that we don't know. And then, Togepi hatches in the anime and we're like, what the hell is that? We've never seen that before. And then all of a sudden, these images of a Pokemon start appearing, and people just decide it's Pika Blue, right? And again, I'm curious because I feel like I knew it as what it actually, like the image I remember seeing of Pika Blue is what it became and what it was, and that's the Pokemon Meryl from Generation 2.
Right.
But I feel like and I can't find it now that I'm looking for it, but I do feel like I remember people talking about some other creature that they called Pika Blue that was supposed to be like an evolution of Pikachu.
I think you're right.
Right? Doesn't that sound familiar?
It does. Yeah. I even remember who told me it, but
really?
Yeah. Lived by our tall friend.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But
and
what was that?
Just had me on the ropes, man, about Pika Blue.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was intriguing, right? Like it was one of the first new Pokemon we were exposed to. And yeah, I think we just kind of decided, it must be an evolution of Pikachu for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't really look like Pikachu.
No. I think that the only reason, maybe not the only reason, I feel like when you look back and you see the sprites, you're like, maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That has to be because we know what Meryl looks like. So we're like, it doesn't look like Pikachu.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's believable.
And I mean, then we see it in the short before that movie, the first movie, Pikachu Summer Vacation. He's in there with Snubbull, I believe. And yeah, I think too, that's funny that you mentioned kind of the way these were spread. I think there's something especially about Pokemon rumors. Back then it was a lot more common for games, especially, Nintendo games, to come out first in Japan. So I think we kind of learned that, like, while those games might not be out here, they are out somewhere else. Yeah. So, like, surely someone has played them and they are sharing this information with us.
Right.
And so it kind of makes you believe it because you're like, okay, like, someone very well could have played Pokemon Gold and Silver and this is true. And I haven't got to play it yet. And I think when you kind of look through these things we're going to talk about today, I do think there's some correlation there, at least. I mean, we knew the game was out and people were playing it.
Yeah. I don't know that I was connecting those dots when this was happening. You know, I
Sure.
wasn't like, there are people in Japan playing this game, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's another experience I had as a kid. When I first moved here, I lived over kind of by where you and another one of our mutual friends lived at that time when we were in elementary school. And there was a kid there that did have a Japanese version of, I don't remember if it was gold or silver, but I remember sitting there and playing that, and we didn't know what the hell was, in front of us. It's all in Japanese. So we're just playing, we're making up names for the moves, shiny tackle and stuff like that. Like, we didn't fucking know what, we're like, there's this little crocodile guy. We're just, we're making up names and having fun, but there's dialogue. We have no idea what they're talking about, what's going on. Yeah. So it just kind of adds to the mystery, where then you just this kid starts telling me stuff. He was a little older than us, and I'm believing it. I'm believing all of it because he knows he's got Pokemon Gold before anybody, right? So clearly he knows.
God, dude, I don't even know what I would think if I had my hands on a Japanese copy of one of these games as a kid. I would have been like, are you kidding me?
And I don't know if I'm making this up or not, but I do seem to think he told me he did read Japanese. Which, looking back, he probably definitely didn't. But I do, because I think that's part of why I believed him. Because he was just
tough.
I'd be like, what's that say? And he's like, it says that Pikachu evolves into Pika-Blue and like stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, man.
Because I'm 7, I'm 8 years old, whatever it is.
Yeah, so you soak it up. You believe it all. I mean, I remember, the crazy thing is, I remember people telling me some wild shit, and then some of it coming true and being like, what? Like, so like, it just, missing number coming true, and then people telling me stuff that came true. I'm like, how do you guys know all this stuff? Where's all this information coming from?
And that too, that same kid taught me about missing no. So I think that again, kind of, then he started telling me all this other stuff, and I'm all in. Hook, line, sinker.
Man. Good Lord. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of these things, but a couple, one of my friends came from Japan, but he didn't know how to tell me anything yet. So he wasn't really of any help,
Sure. Yeah, that's true. Do you have any more Pokemon ones? I'm curious, because I do have one more.
I don't have any more Pokemon ones.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you this then.
Oh.
Do you recall anybody ever telling you that if you wanted to make sure you caught a Pokemon, you had to hold a certain button?
Oh,
through the Pokeball? Do you remember that? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Of course, that doesn't do
tapping.
Yeah, and it doesn't see, and that's another variation of it, right? You didn't have to tap. For me, it was you got to hold, and for you, apparently, it was tap. But what button was that? You have 50 Game Boys around you.
I'm looking at one right now. I think it was A.
See, and for me, it was B. You held B. And that was what helped you catch Pokemon. But I do feel like over the years, I've heard people kind of talk about, tapping B or tapping A or holding A. And so it's interesting how,
dude, it was
at some point,
A.
someone told us whatever it was, and we just did it.
See, that's the wild thing, is like, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, because you think about it too hard. So I'm like, what? I know, like, with my hands, I'm doing it in my hands. I'm like, what button was that? And it's like, it was definitely A. And I'll tell you what, I'd still do it. I just do it.
I do it too. Yeah.
So you hold it?
Yeah, I absolutely.
Dude, because I feverishly.
Nope. Gotta hold it. Gotta hold it
every time.
Tapping the wrong button.
No way. If I hold it, I feel like it's not going to happen.
Right.
I can't do it.
And of course, turns out none of those things that we've talked about do anything. But yeah, I still do it in the games now, the new games.
Feels good. I'm like an addict. I can't stop. That's so funny, man. I didn't even think about that.
That was one that came to mind today. I was like, oh yeah.
You sparked one though of Pokemon. Not really like something you get, but a rumor. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the Lavender Town stuff?
Oh yeah. I feel like I was older when I found out about
you?
Probably high school, maybe later wild. Even.
So like, this song made people kill themselves, right? And I was like,
yeah, what? So that is the rumor, that if you play, I don't know, if you play it on loop, it'll make you go crazy. This is the like Lavender Town, like overworld music.
Yeah.
And it is, it's creepy, and it kind of drones on, and I don't know that it would drive me crazy, but maybe, I don't know.
The thing is, it was like a slowed down version, or like a special, it was like it wasn't the normal commercial release. It was like somebody was like, these, cartridges released this time, this amount, or, you know, the first ones, whatever, had a different tone that was low and you couldn't hear it. And it's like, because let me tell you, if that was true and it was my cart, dude, I would have killed myself, because like
Jesus.
I spent a lot of time in Lavender Town. I was a fucking kid. I'm wandering around. I don't know what to do. So I'm sitting there fucking listening to that shit for a long time, you know, and I survived. You know, I want a sticker for it too, like a button. I survived Lavender Town, you know.
This, you coming up with one on the spot actually kind of helped me come up with one on the spot. And that is, do you remember, I feel like this clearly had no basis in anything, but it was similar where people would be like, my friend saw the Japanese episode or the movie, and Ash and Misty are going to kiss. They're definitely going to kiss. And I remember hearing that all the time, again, as like a 7 or 8 year old, and being like, no, they're not. They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that.
But maybe they could. I don't know. They did not, I believe, ever do that. But
no.
Yeah. No. If they did in the Pokemon you're watching, you're watching the wrong Pokemon. You're not on the Pokemon TV YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Oh man.
So
that's really all I got for Pokemon.
Okay. I mean, we got a lot of Pokemon ones out of the way.
We did get a lot of Pokemon ones out of the way. I would have to say the next direction I'm going to go in is I'm going to go to Mario. And I also remember very well when I learned this. I learned this in first grade. I even remember the kid who told me. And my God, if I could speak to him, he lied to me, first of all, because he told me he did this.
Do you think he knew it wasn't real? Because I don't always know with some of these. I don't know that the people that told me this stuff, if they were just making it up or if they really believed it.
Why would this kid tell me that he did this? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucker. You know what I mean?
For clout. Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, it was just me. Like, he didn't have anybody else to brag to about this. But anyway, about Luigi in Mario 64.
Of course. This is another classic one, right?
Yes.
I think this one got a lot of people.
This one got me for longer than I'd like to admit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, why don't go ahead and explain what this was all about.
So the rumor was that you can unlock Luigi by collecting all the stars and doing all the secret steps or some secret steps. And it was also like combined with what was like Yoshi on the roof, or was it Luigi on the roof? Or that's where you'd meet him or something. So yeah, I mean, there was the whole like L is real thing that was on the statue. Like there was all these things that made people think. And then I think the reason that this all came about was because there was an unused Luigi model, I think, in the data. And one of my best friends at the time, first grade, told me that he did this. And I'm like, no way. And like I had completed Mario 64 and loved it very much. So it was like any opportunity to have a reason to go back, I was into it. So I was on the hooks for this. Never happened for me. Tried for a really long time. Was really convinced that I was just fucking it up. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely fake. Not true.
Yeah. But it makes sense again, because, you know, up until this point, all the Mario platformers, you could play as Luigi. So, okay, that makes some sense. At least, you know, he would be in there. He's in every Mario game. So why wouldn't he be in this one? The L is real thing is really interesting. So I'm going to put an image of that for the video watchers here. But it is in the courtyard of Peach's castle. There's a star like statue in the middle of a fountain. And underneath it, there's a plaque. And it, you know, the resolution of the N64 was not great. And we were looking at it on CRT TVs. And it looks like it reads L is real 2401. And people, took that to mean that Luigi is real and he's here in this game. Of course, that plaque also appears in Ocarina of Time. The same exact, they just use the same asset. So probably not meant to hint at Luigi. And then, I think there were some rumors that ended up being true that they were experimenting with like a Mario 64 sequel that would have had a playable Luigi. So like, I think those two things kind of in tandem just like merged into this, like he is in the game. But you're right. there was always that kind of kid who not just told you the rumor, but told you that he did it himself.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
And you're right. What is that about?
I don't know, but like I'll tell you what, man, I never one time in my entire childhood told another person that I did something that I didn't do. I never did that. What the fuck?
I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know. No, that's a good Mario one. I have one that like I don't remember the specifics of what people would tell you like to do it, right? But I remember one that you could drive inside Princess Peach's castle in Mario Kart 64.
What?
Right? So you know on
can you?
which is it Royal Raceway, Royal Parkway in Mario Kart 64?
Raceway.
There's one where you can drive off the path. There's a little path that goes up to Princess Peach's castle, and you can drive over to it. But yeah, there was some rumor that you could do something a certain way and open it up and then drive around in the castle. I don't know why I wanted to do that so bad, because I played Mario 64. I knew there wasn't a lot of room there in the lobby. So I don't really know why I wanted to do that, but I really wanted to get in there.
You know, I remember distinctly the cutscene for that cup.
Yeah.
And you'd be there getting the trophy. I remember thinking it was so cool. I was like, I played there, you know, in Mario 64. Like, I remember watching that and being like, oh, cool. Like, this is really awesome that they're there too. You know, like,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, it's the same place. You know, like,
yeah, it must be. And it's so funny. Yeah, you compare them now, they're graphically fairly different.
I know. But like you, though, I would have been really into that. I do remember driving around there and being like, this is cool. You know what I mean? Like,
it was cool that you could get over there. Yeah.
It's cool they did stuff like that. But man, that's not one that I heard, which is wild because we shared a playground for a couple of years. So
we did. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any of these that you were convinced weren't real that someone told you and then they turned out to be? Because I have one specific one that comes to mind.
I don't think any of the no, none of these turned out to be true. Well, actually, there's one that I don't even know if it is true today.
Okay. Well, so I remember, but this is before I moved to Michigan, so I'm back in Washington. This is long before we would have met. I'm on the playground. Super Smash Brothers is a relatively new game at this time for the N64.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I didn't have this game. I think I've talked about how that was a Blockbuster rental for me. And we're talking about it. And I'm like, you know, who's your favorite character? What's doing this? And this kid goes, Ness. And I'm like, who's that? Who are you talking about? Because I didn't know Earthbound. I've never seen that. And it wasn't, when I played the game, he wasn't there because he's a secret character in that game. And he just kept going on about Ness. And he's this kid and he's cool and he's got a yo-yo and all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And and then finally, I think it probably wasn't until I played Melee that I saw Ness and I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that guy was probably telling the truth. Yeah, that's an actual bona fide Nintendo character. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was convinced he was just making it up. I was like, there's no Ness. He couldn't tell me how to unlock him. He probably just didn't know, but
it sounds pretty made up.
He sounds pretty made up, right?
Sounds pretty made up. I mean, Ness was confusing for us, though. And we've talked about this before, I think. But like, yeah, we didn't fucking know who that was.
No, it was a late Super Nintendo game. And it cost $1 million. And it was, very few people played it in general, but especially here in the States.
And like, what a weird, that like legit, like honestly, like you look at all the other characters, they're all very, very fake characters. Okay.
Sure.
And then you get this kid that just has a yo-yo and you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Got a hat, yo-yo,
why is he here?
Yeah.
You know, so like, it was really weird. It's like, I don't get it, you know?
Yeah. But so I remember arguing with this kid and being like, there is not a character named Ness in that game. Like there's not. I know the characters in the game. There isn't one.
You know, we talked about us sharing a playground, and I know the people. I know those people, man. I know those fucking liars out there. I know that they love to rub it in your face. Like I can remember some of the people, and I'm mad for you because I feel like I was bothered by some of those people. You know.
You know what I would love? I don't know if this is going to happen, but obviously, you know, we are Facebook friends with some of those people that you're referring to from our time here. And I do wonder if, you know, we share a podcast with Power episode on Facebook, and maybe they click on it, and maybe they listen to it, and they don't know what they're going to hear. And then they hear you tell a story they distinctly remember of making up some bullshit.
Comment. Hey, I'm friends with the kid that lied to me about fucking Luigi. Okay.
I'm very curious as to who that is, but
I'll tell you when we're done recording. But if you listen to this, you remember. Okay. Sure. I was at your house. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So what else do you got?
I'm gonna lump Yoshi into the Luigi thing. I don't need to go into that. That was kind of another one, but
what's
also
Yoshi doing? Oh, that he's up on the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one that I didn't really believe was true.
So I wasn't sure because I wasn't sure. Like I don't know, which is wild to me because again I love that game. But
yeah,
I have one I'm gonna gloss through.
Okay.
I never really believed this one, which is weird. But I never believed it. But about getting the Triforce in Ocarina of Time.
I wrote that one down too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I never believed this one because I remember seeing, because there were stills of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the photos of it.
I have the image in my head of what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I looked it up at the time that I wrote this down, but I looked it up because I couldn't remember if I was crazy or not. About where where Link was. And I remember seeing those pictures being like, that is not, I don't even know where that is. Like, I have no idea. And I don't know if it's just like the way Zelda's sectioned off, like the areas. I'm like, I have explored this like so many times. And like at that time, I didn't really understand how like you could, like how a game could be coded or how something could be hard coded to do something. I'm thinking within the confines of the reality of Ocarina of Time. Like in Mario 64, you can jump through pictures and you do these things. And sometimes you stand in a spot and you disappear and appear somewhere, like there are all those options.
Yeah.
So like thinking that I could get on top of the castle or go do something like that wasn't so far fetched, but like Ocarina of Time, I very well knew my abilities in that game.
Yeah.
So like when I see this place I've never been, I'm like, bullshit, like I've never been there. That place doesn't exist. So like I X'd it out. I was like, that's not even a real thing,
Yeah. No, that's a great one. I think Zelda kind of in general, but especially Ocarina of Time, they get these rumors always start that there's a secret dungeon out there that you didn't find, and there's going to be some crazy weapon in there or something like that. And man, I wish I could find this image that we're talking about. I'm going to try oh, here it is. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, what is this? Like, I don't remember if it was from like a beta screenshot or a build or something. I don't remember how people found this, but yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I'm going to include it here in the video. But yeah, that was a crazy one. And it's like, that game doesn't need that. There's a lot going on in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
They pad out some of the other stories with finding the Triforce, Wind Waker and Skyward Sword and all that. But
right.
we don't need that in Ocarina of Time.
No.
But as kids, we thought that must be important. It's on his hand. Like, why not? That's the only Zelda one I had, was that one.
I didn't have any. Yeah. I remember somebody telling me that the Deku Tree didn't have to die.
No, he's got to go.
But if I'm being honest, when I was Googling around for this stuff, like I found that one online, but I was like, I feel like I remember this, but I also don't know if I'm just fabricating that, but it wasn't a main one. The next huge one that I have.
Okay.
Drove me crazy for a long time. Drove me and a couple of people crazy, actually.
Okay. What's that?
Sonic and Tails in Melee.
Yes. So I have that one. This is another big one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what you had to do. It was like 1,000 matches and then beating something a bunch of times without dying. And yeah, it was hard to do, but like I was convinced that it could be done. It made perfect sense. And there was also, this was like a weird time where people were making things look very real online. Like,
and so there's the reason this one had so much credibility. And that's because this was put on by Electronic Gaming Monthly. This was an April Fool's joke. They made a screenshot and they put it out there that, yeah, you had to defeat, I found it here. You had to defeat 20 enemies in Cruel Melee, which was fucking hard. and then you would have to fight Sonic and Tails together and beat them both. Does that kind of line up with what you remember?
It does, because I remember it being like brutally hard. And I remember us and one of our mutual good friends just going at this for days, thinking that it was going to happen for us. And so that was a big one. That was like a summertime pipe dream, chasing that.
And I think probably for the entire life of that game, I believed it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a big deal when Sonic was actually announced for Brawl, the follow-up. But yeah, I mean, probably the entire time I was playing Melee, I believed that this was possible, and it was somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to keep looking.
Before I move on to my next one, do you have one for?
Well, so I do have one, but I actually wanted to talk about. There was kind of a genre of these rumors. We're all at this point we're young individuals, young children, and I think there was a certain curiosity. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, but there were always a lot of rumors that certain games had nude codes, right? And the big one, of course, was Tomb Raider. And I'm sure you probably recall hearing about that at some point.
I remember hearing that about. I don't remember that with Tomb Raider, but mostly because I wasn't really around PlayStation as much. Sure. But I do know what you're talking about with other games. Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the Gaming Urban Legends wiki, and I found a couple. I have the Nude Raider article pulled up here, and it's funny. They've got a bunch of different codes that people would pass around. That, of course, none of them work. But then there's a Lon Lon Ranch nude one that apparently it's not real. Calm down.
What?
But yeah. So I feel like this kind of rumor was. There were several of them for different games, right? But yeah, Tomb Raider is the one I remember the most clearly.
So what? That one's for Malin? Is that what that is?
It must be, yeah.
That's so funny though. Like,
not Talon,
huh?
It's not Talon.
Damn. Isn't that so funny though? Because like how bad the graphics were, and people were like, "Oh yeah."
I know. So let me read you the description. Okay. Soon after the game was released, a rumor spread that Nintendo game translator Dan Housen claimed that there was a secret code that would cause Lon Lon Ranch villagers Malin, Talon, and Ingo to become naked. Housen was immediately hounded by fans begging him to release the code, but he denied that such a code existed and that he never made such a claim. So that's crazy. So someone pretending to be him. Like, I'm going to go online as this Nintendo translator. I'm going to take his identity and I'm going to spread this lie, this total lie. According to the rumors, there were 66 steps to this procedure, a lengthy process that involves such things as angering Kukos with Din's fire, releasing blue fire several times, and constantly manipulating time.
If you tell me that I gotta, like, I'm not even kidding you. You could tell 12-year-old me, hey, I need you to release a bunch of blue fire. I'm like, that's not happening. This is not real.
Eventually, it says in the summer of 1999, a fan site called The Closet of Hyrule came out and admitted that it had created the code rumors as a hoax and begged fans to stop harassing Housen. So it was all a lie.
People were really on top of it. They were really wanting this thing.
I just like it's like all three of them. They're going to be naked. That's what the code does. And it's just there's one location of the game. For some reason, Nintendo was like, we just got to have that in there. We got to make sure that if you want to get the farmer's nude, you can. Not the rest of the game, but just that one.
Oh,
yeah. Man. So I just wanted to go on that little tangent that was kind of a weird little subgenre of rumors that I certainly remember other children trying to spread. And I didn't have Tomb Raider, so I didn't,
Wasn't there a Samus one too?
Well, Samus, yeah, that one's, if you beat the game fast enough, you'll see her in a bikini or swimsuit, depending on what game you're playing. And so that one was kind of real. She wasn't nude, but this is NES. I wasn't playing NES back then. I wasn't.
What happened? You do what?
What was that?
What do you got to do?
What am I gonna do?
What do you got to do to make that happen? So you telling me you beat that game fast enough, and then Samus is like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it depends on the game, but yeah, if you get enough of the collectibles and if you beat them fast, you know, the requirements change game to game. But yeah, it's usually just, you know, beat the game in 2 hours or whatever. And yeah,
and
they basically all have
in a bikini.
that.
Why is she in a bikini if you do all those things?
Because that's just how these games reward you. If you do it too slow, she's in the armor. You do it a little faster, helmet's off. You do it faster than that, she's in a little outfit. You do it faster than that, bikini.
And this is factual.
Yes, yeah.
How do they explain that? Like you do everything, you get everything, and then Samus is like, oh my God, I'm in a bikini. I'm so glad you did this the way you did. Like how do they explain that away?
I'm so glad we're talking about this as much as I talk about being a Metroid fan on the show. I'm really glad you're pressing this issue.
Well, I got to press because look, and then you don't do it good enough. And she's like, she just takes her helmet off. She's like, way to go.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna send you the link here. But I'm looking at Metroid endings. So for the first one, the NES one, it's the worst ending, acquired by playing for over 30 hours, 5 minutes. She's in the armor and she's turned away from you in that one. That's how bad that ending is. She's facing the other way. God. The bad ending for playing under 30 hours and 5 minutes, she's facing you and waving in the armor. The fair ending, acquired by playing under 7 hours, 24 minutes. And these are all the NTSC times. She has the helmet off. And then the good ending for playing under 2 hours, 28 minutes, she's in like a one piece, you know, doing a little wave. And then the best ending for playing under an hour, she's in the bikini in that original NES. But again, this article I sent you, it has all of them. You know, all the games do some variation of this.
I cannot believe this is real. This is wild to me.
I guess it makes sense that you weren't aware of this, but yeah, this is like, just part of it.
Like, don't you feel like who's the developer that was like, hey, look, if you do this thing under an hour, bikini time. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Apparently.
That's crazy. Like, you're like, yeah, for sure. Like, is this like a Metroid, like, coup? Like, what is, like...
It's kind of a staple. I mean, I'm looking at the endings, and yeah, I guess the two most recent games don't have the bikini thing. They still do a bunch of different images for, you know, how well you do. But yeah, Prime 4 and Dread don't have that. But even, like, Samus Returns has a version of it in fusion mode. So you really gotta... That's hard, too. So...
Really,
but that was 3DS. I mean, that was 2017.
Man, that is bonkers, man. That is such a weird thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so there you go. Wow. You know, I don't know. I don't remember anyone talking about this, but I'm sure there were people that probably believed if you did it even faster than that, maybe something would happen. I don't know.
People are like, we got to get through this really quickly.
I mean,
please, for the love of God,
under an hour is hard enough for
Samus is going to take her armor off.
It's not like that. It's not. The game is more than that. I play other Metroidvanias too. What else you got?
The master hand being playable.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that was also a big one. Which I swear I remember, like, recently. You can glitch that, can't you? Can you not? You can glitch that, right?
I don't know. I know there's a way to do Giga Bowser in, I think, Melee, but I don't know about Master Hand. That sounds kind of right, though, right?
It's like, okay, so I just Googled it. Master Hand is playable on Super Smash Bros. Melee via a famous glitch known as the name entry glitch. By using a controller in port 3 and creating a specific glitch scenario, players can control the boss in Smash Bros. It can control the boss. And then goes on to say, in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Master Hand is briefly playable during a specific scripted segment in the World of Light story mode. Because did this come up recently? Because I remember talking about this a little bit. And now here's the thing. So, like, I remember hearing this as a child. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And the reason I believed it is because is it Metal Gear that you have to plug your controller into another control port?
Yeah, for the Psycho Mantis fight. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
do you like Castlevania?
Yeah. Yeah. That was when like that was when Metal Gear was a cousin game for me. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
And they told me, my cousin told me about it, and so I hear something like this, and I'm like, oh, another one of those.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like it seemed real to me, and it apparently is real. I've never tried it.
Maybe not normal gameplay, but yeah, it's kind of there.
Kind of there, as in you got to do it on like an emulator, or like kind of there, like I could get out my GameCube right now and do it. You know?
See, I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
You're not sure too?
No idea.
Oh my god, I need to do it. I feel like how I did. I feel like I have to try.
Go do it. Spend hours and hours trying to do it.
I might have to.
Let us know.
I do want to know. If I do it, I'm going to freak out and videotape it, and then I'm going to share it so fast.
I'm going to guess that it's not there, but I don't know.
You're making me want to try more.
Okay, absolutely. Go try. Do it. You got it. I know you're not much of a Final Fantasy VII guy, but obviously there's a pivotal moment in that game where Aerith passes away. Okay. And there was it's come on, that game's old. You know that. Everyone knows that. I'm not spoiling anything. It's a 30-year-old game. Everybody knows that. Yeah. But I do remember, even not having played that game myself for a very long time, that there was always those rumors that you could bring her back. That there was some way to that she wasn't permanently dead. And that's not true. Yeah. She's dead.
Was that like a really sad moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. You don't expect.
No.
You know, that's a big deal.
So people were like, "Damn, like I wish that didn't happen," and then they were like, "It doesn't have to be that way." Yeah,
like imagine you're playing Pokemon Red, and all of a sudden a guy drops from the ceiling with a sword and stabs your Charmander in the chest. You know, and he's just gone. Like, you're pretty upset, right? Like a party member of you've been playing half the game with this party member, and now she's just gone permanently.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And so people believe there must be some way you could have saved her, or some way you could bring her back. And there's not. God. Yeah.
Man.
But sorry, I guess, if I spoiled Final Fantasy VII for anyone.
Yeah.
I feel like this is meme to hell. Everybody knows about Aerith, but okay. I guess not.
Oh God.
It's okay.
The last thing I'm gonna bring up.
Okay.
All right. Is a guy we had in our lives.
I knew when we started prepping for this that you were gonna talk about this. Because it makes you so mad.
It makes me so mad.
Okay.
So I'm gonna set the stage for you, okay?
Okay.
I first heard from this person. It's like this guy was dropped into my life to do this to me. Okay.
Okay.
That and to create a wooden putt-putt golf course for geometry class. Those two things.
Yeah.
There's just that and then Zelda stuff. And we're also friends on Facebook, so who knows? This could come up. And I want to say this was 5th grade, 6th grade. 6th grade.
I bet it's later. I bet we're in middle school at this point.
I
feel like I remember you telling me about it in middle school.
Yeah.
And that's definitely when the hype for this game was at its highest.
It went on for too long is the problem. Sure. So anyway, early on, this guy tells me this, but the remarkable time, the time that it really stuck with me was in science class. I was in the very back at that time, which was not by choice, but was awesome.
Okay.
And I did not share a table with anyone. It was just me at that stereotypical, black, like hard science table.
The science table.
Two people. Yes.
Yeah. They know what it is. Yeah.
Regulation science table.
Yeah. Try to light that thing on fire. You won't be able to. Well, you probably could if you tried hard enough, but don't try.
And anyway, I keep almost saying his fucking name. He sat in front of me. He turns around to tell me this specifically. He turns around. He puts his Game Informer, whatever magazine.
Okay.
He's like, "Hey, have you heard all the stuff about Twilight Princess?
Okay.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm stoked.
Of course. Yeah. We were stoked for that game.
He is like, so I heard that you can throw your sword. And I was like, no way. And he's like, yep, you can even do it from your horse. Link can throw his sword. And I'm like, dude, like, that's crazy. And like, it doesn't really get more complex than that. But now I'm just like, that's it. Yeah. And I'm thinking like, man, what a crazy mechanic. Like, what's that going to do for Zelda? Like, oh my gosh, this game's so much more advanced. Because we're coming out of Wind Waker
was the last one.
Yeah. We're coming out of Wind Waker, and it's like we see this like more realistic, dark looking Zelda, and like, oh, what's to come from this? What are the physics going to be like? And like, I'm hype, I'm really excited. And then of course it never happens, And I'm like, who told you this? Like, where did you read this? It's not in your magazine, never questioned you. What's going on? So I was I was pretty pissed off.
No. And that's a weird one because I've never, with a lot of these, we've both heard them, right? We didn't know what the other was going to bring today, but we've heard these, but there's no one on the internet talking about throwing your sword at Twilight Princess, from message boards in 2005 or something. That doesn't, you can't find that. That doesn't happen. So I don't know. I mean, and this guy had an older brother. It's possible he told him.
He had an older brother?
He did, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I can say his name if you want. But yeah, and so we don't know where that rumor came from, but yeah, I remember you telling me that and you being so mad, and I don't get it. Because what's the big deal? Did you want to throw your sword? Are you excited by that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did. I wanted to throw my sword. I wanted there to be other realistic things.
Okay. A decade later, you got to throw your sword in Breath of the Wild.
I did.
Did you do that a lot?
Well, I didn't get to throw all my swords. Only every sword but one sword,
Well, sure, but that's most of them.
Well, I wanted to throw that sword. I wanted to throw that sword.
You can't. Why?
Want it.
Why do you want to throw that sword?
Because
I want to hang on to that sword. That's a
magical
good sword.
And has it, dude.
It shoots a beam. You don't need to throw it.
It repels evil. All right. I wanted to throw that thing fucking. You know what I mean? I wanted that thing to fucking zing.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so that's a deep cut because that's a very personal rumor that only you ever heard. no one. That rumor has not graced anybody else's ears. Just yours.
Weren't you friends with that kid? He didn't tell you that?
Yeah, I remember hearing it from you. I don't remember hearing it from him. He would tell me all sorts of stuff, but I don't remember that one. Yeah. Man. So the last one I have is not so much a playground rumor for us because we were pretty old by this. We were adults by this time. But do you remember not even a couple years back at this point, but during the Wii U era, there was a strong rumor of a game called Star Fox Grand Prix. Do you remember this? That there was going to be a Star Fox F-Zero crossover game.
I feel like I did.
And it was, there was a logo, and it was, all these insiders were saying it was real. And I think a lot of us bought into it. I bet we probably talked about it on the old podcast with Power at some point.
I feel like we may have.
We must have. Because it would have been a pretty big rumor of a Wii U title at the time. Mm-hmm. But it turned out the whole thing was a hoax. But that one was like one of those things where it's like sometimes the crazier it is, the more you buy it. Because you're like, why would someone make this up? Why would someone make up that there's an F-Zero Star Fox crossover? That's crazy. Yeah.
God, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I think I do remember talking about that one, but I was probably like, yeah, man, weird. Okay, crazy.
Does it bum you out that we don't get these kinds of things anymore?
It does. Yeah, it does. Because it's fun, to think about this stuff. I think we do. It's just we receive the news differently. Maybe, I don't know if it's because we're jaded from the past or anything like that, but like, I just think we receive news differently and we're very critical of it because I will hear something and maybe it's just because, and any fan of Nintendo, anybody listening to this or has any interest in listening to us, I'm sure has the same exact thing because we all love Nintendo. We are very aware of what Nintendo does. So when you hear something, you're like, that's not happening. Or you'll be like, could happen. Or it's just like, we'll see, but I doubt it. I'm not giving my hopes up, you know?
Yeah. And it's just the scope of the rumors are different, right? Like we talked about the Nate the Hate thing. Like, there will be a new Star Fox this summer. Okay, easy to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Now, if he came out there and was like, okay, there's going to be a new Star Fox game, but this time Star Fox is a line cook, and it's basically the bear, but you're Star Fox. And like, you'd be like, okay, like maybe not. I don't know. You're kind of credible, so maybe it's real. But like, that's what I feel like the rumors were when we were children. Just like,
yes, it was
take this character, put him in a wacky situation that he shouldn't be in, and that's the rumor.
You know, but that probably has everything. Like, I hope this stuff is happening on the playground. It has to be happening to the kids, because like, what you're remembering has to be because we were kids, right? Like, it's just kids saying kid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little harder for us to be aware of, but like, you know, you probably remember with like Minecraft, like Herobrine, like that was a thing I think younger Minecraft players believed was real. Herobrine. It was, and I don't know enough about it, but basically it's this character that looked like Steve, but he had like these like all white eyes, and he was scary, and he would like appear.
Oh, I do remember this actually.
It was kind of this like urban legend, you know, and that you would delete your save or you'd revert it or whatever, and he would still be there. And so much so that Mojang actually started to play into it. Whenever they would patch the game, in the patch notes, it would always say removed Herobrine as like one of the updates. And, and obviously he would just persist. And so I imagine that younger Minecraft players probably had that. We probably would have bought into that if we were younger when we were doing that. I think Fortnite gets a lot of that. You know, I think the Fortnite lore is crazy, and you never know what's next and what they're gonna do. And I mean, I as a casual fan kind of speculate, but I think I look at it more of like a business. Like, all right, well, what movies are coming out like this year? Like, those are the partnerships we're gonna get, right?
Right.
Whereas I'm sure if we were 10, we would be like, oh my god, like,
you're more objective because you know how this works. Like, you understand that, and that's the like. It's very Matrix of you. You see the code. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get it. You know, like the mystique is broken. You see through the wall. You know, and then that sucks a little bit, because it's like,
it does.
It's cool when things come out of nowhere, and it was cooler, in my opinion. This is, you know, I think there's stuff that seems magical to kids these days with these games, and I love that. And I hope that that's something that always lasts. You know what I'm saying? But like, I do, and this could just be the age in us, feel like it was more magical for us because we couldn't validate anything. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, like, it was a different time. It was very cool. So I would love to hear the stuff that's going around right now. You know what I mean?
I know. You know, we don't get to live it anymore, right? Because we have to know. We do this, so we have to know what's going on. And that's the burden that we bear for you out there, bringing you the Nintendo knowledge and that we've acquired over the years and continue to acquire. And if you want to hear what we have acquired next time, you should subscribe to the show, whether you're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere else you're listening to this podcast. We're on a lot of podcast platforms. I looked it up the other day. There's a lot of them. Things you've never heard of. I'll have to show you sometime. It's crazy. Because you can look at like these link sites for it's a whole thing. But so make sure you're subscribed to the show. Leave us a comment. Let us know what some of the crazy playground rumors you heard as a kid about Nintendo games were. And follow us at Pod with Power on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. That's kind of it. But, you know, we're probably somewhere else too. But until next time, I'm Zachary Davis. That's Jordan Carlson. Bye-bye.
Bye.